now there it is. Probably what is one of the best, if not the best, racing game on the NES, even though it's not really a racing game. It's more like a game where you race against time, as you must finish a drive on the highway through many famous cities throughout the world within the allocated time limit. Some of these locations include San Francisco, the Grand Canyon, and the ruins of Athens. But luckily this isn't all at once, as there is a bit of a reprieve with there being checkpoints scattered throughout the ride that will score you extra time to keep driving with. And heck, even when you do run out of time, you still have a bit of like driving capability, as your car still is rolling but you just can't accelerate. So if you're really lucky, you can actually roll over a checkpoint and keep going. But yeah, that's basically all this game is. You try to get from point A to point B while not running out of time. But of course, for as simple as an objective that is, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, because the roads are filled with other cars that you must avoid, as bumping into them will make you slow down, or if you crash into them, it'll make your car flip. Your car will also flip if you end up going off the road and hitting one of the signs or trees or whatever outside of it. And trust me, you do not want to flip your car, as it wastes time putting you back where, like, the starting position. Then you need to start gaining speed again. It screws you over. But again, this is very difficult to do because you really do have to make split-second decisions, especially when you get to like the later levels and the roads themselves become much more winding. So you really do have to give like that map at the start of every level like a good looking at in order to know when to slow down for the turns. But yeah, this is a classic example of NES difficulty. A game that once you start playing is very hard, but as you continue to play it and learn how it is, you kind of get the hang of it, then you start finding it easy. Although unfortunately I haven't fully figured it out, since as of recording this, the farthest I ever made it was to level 4. But despite that, I still gotta say this is a fun one. It's really fun to cruise down the highway, speeding past everyone and successfully turning and not crashing and whatever else. I really like the stupendous speeds that you can achieve with the nitro that if you hold up on your car has. The other stuff that I like include the music, where it's not playing normally but you press down on the D-pad in order to activate it, and it's neat because it's trying to like mimic a radio station, and you press down to change it again as if you were changing a station. Although I guess one drawback is that there's only 3 stations to choose from, and instead of the stages themselves having their own unique music, it's just the same 3 sets of tracks throughout the entire game. So funnily enough, this game actually might be perfect for inserting your own music or something like that. It's also cool that the game gives you 2 sets of cars to drive in, either a Ferrari or a race car. Although I never really choose the race car because the Ferrari just looks way too cool to pass up. It's also weirdly neat to see this game have a 3D mode, although I don't think you could possibly do it today. You press the select button, then it does, well, red and blue. Then I guess if you put on those type of glasses, the game would pop out at you. And well, that kind of wraps up just about everything. Only 2 other things I want to note here. I guess one is that the graphics of this game are pretty well detailed, how the cars and the roads and everything else looks great. Although unfortunately it does suffer from sprite flickering. These types of games usually do. Oh, and something I just remembered, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this one of those types of games where you're technically not moving, but the entire world around you is? Like the car is actually just sitting there while everything else comes towards you, because that was a technique back then, if I'm correct. And the last thing, which is more just a funny thing, which is the fact that the people who made this were Square, and it's just really funny to me to think that the people who made all those complex RPGs made something as simple as this. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say about this game. So yeah, although there's really not that much to say about it, I still consider this a really cool driving game. I don't know where it is.